Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Colorado Rockies rebuild franchise here on MLB The Show 24. We're 15 games into our Year 4 season. Our Rockies at 14-11, 1.5 games back of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who of course are the favorites this season. But at this point, we do have the best run differential in the division, I think, in the entire MLB, as we have split our last 10 games. I did play a couple games offline here to start this Washington series. Won 8-2 in this one, absolutely blew it open. Just consistent run production throughout. And then here, lost 7-6 as Ken Hughes blew another save. We gave up 3 there in the top of the 9th and fell here to the lower rated Washington Nationals. But in this episode, we're going to jump ahead a lot. Of course, the new game is going to be releasing here in the next couple weeks or so. So I do want to really pick up the pace on this Year 4 season, at least get this one over with. Ideally, we get through 5 seasons, but I'm not quite sure if we're going to get to that point. So without further ado, we are just going to sim heavy in this episode as we do win that one 9-3 as we take the rubber match. 9 runs in this one, 3 in the last 2 innings combined. We had a home run from Eloy Jimenez. He's tearing it up as of late, batting .339, had 4 ribbies, also a double. Multi-hit games from Senzel, Luis Robert Jr., Ryan Mountcastle, Michael Toglia, Ezekiel Tovar, who's now batting .337. So our young shortstop on pace for his best offensive season so far, as Max Fried advances to 4-0, Lucas Gilbreth and John Curtis get a hold, and Brusdar Graterol a clean inning there to close it out, although not a save with the big lead. And now we open a 3-game set against the 7-19 Chicago Cubs. Of course, they won the World Series back in year 1 of this franchise, but now falling to the bottom of the NL Central. I have Dustin May on against Justin Steele at 0-5, and he will get his first win of the season. We dropped that one 7-1. Yanquiel Fernandez, our only run there with a home run. Dustin May, 5 earned in 4 innings. Kyle Freeland and Taj Bradley combined for the last 5 innings of work. As now we'll simulate this one. The second game of this set, and we lose 6-1. So only 2 runs in the last 2 games combined. Our offense just really going to sleep here as we combine for just 3 hits, 2 from Ryan McMahon, including a home run. Aaron Savali now 1-5 on the season, did have 8 strikeouts. Kyle Freeland, another big game of work there, getting a huge volume out of the bullpen so far to start the season. Now at this point, we'll just go rapid fire here, finish out the month of April, as we do get swept there by the Chicago Cubs, so kind of worrisome there start to the episode. Looked good in that rubber match against the Nationals, but now we kind of falter here against the Cubs. Our offense really struggles. Our starting pitching, not the best performances from them. Now a 3-game set against Tampa Bay, and we fall there for the 4th game in a row, so maybe time to look at the lineups and change some things around. Gavin Lux has been in the leadoff spot, Nolan Jones in the 2-hole, followed by Mountcastle, Jimenez, Ron McMahon, who is very hot. 8 home runs already on the year, which is half of what he had last season in less than a fifth of the at-bats. So on pace for a very good season to close out his tenure in Colorado. Of course, now on a contract year. So I think we'll just look to move Robert Jr. up to the top again. Not really the ideal leadoff man, as his OBP is not the best, but I think having him protected by Nolan Jones there at the top is a pretty good way to play that, followed by Mountcastle, Jimenez, Ron McMahon. I think we'll move Danny Jansen back up. Was an RBI monster in the beginning of the season. I think we'll move Tovar up as well and move Rogers down to the 9-hole. A big struggle so far for Brendan Rodgers. Still 3 years left with that player option, but probably the poorest start to a season for him so far in this franchise, batting just .210. So it's imperative for him to turn it around as we go along. Against lefties, I think we'll just leave it the same for now. And we'll keep moving along here, see if we can get back into the win column as we do. With a 3-2 victory, Luis Castro, a B potential outfielder, going to miss 1 to 2 months with shoulder separation, as he lands on the 60-day injured list. In this game, we get Nolan Jones going 3 for 4, 2 hits from Jimenez and Tovar, as Robert Jr. and Jones each with triples. Max Fried 5-0 on the season now, 6 2/3, as we had a scoreless 2 1/3. Combined effort from Graterol, Curtis, and Ken Hughes gets his 5th save of the season. Now the rubber match. We'll have Dustin May against Jordan Montgomery. As top of the 9th inning, Kevin Kelly on for the save. Nick Senzel a home run away from the cycle as our Rockies down by 2. And we do come back to win there, 7-6. Let's see if Senzel was able to eclipse that cycle. He did not, but he did get that 4th hit. 3 RBIs for him, batting .407. And it's a shame because he's only like a 55 contact, 50 power against righties, but he absolutely mashes lefties. Our most consistent hitter so far to start this season. 3 hits from Brendan Rodgers in the leadoff spot in this one, along with Yanquiel Fernandez. Good to see them get going a little bit. Dustin May, another iffy start, only 5 innings of 5 earned, 3 strikeouts. Taj Bradley, 5 strikeouts in 3 innings, gets the win, and Ken Hughes another save as we take the rubber match there. Now, the last game here in April, our Rockies at 17-15 taking on the 22-10 Atlanta Braves as they currently lead the National League. So we'll see if we can take game 1 now of a 4-game set. As we do take that one 6-3, so now 3 straight wins after 4 straight losses. As we flip the script here, Ryan McMahon another home run now at 9 on the season, 3 ribbies in this game. Luis Robert 2 for 5 at the top with a double. Aaron Savali responds well after a bad start. Now 2-5 on the year, 7 innings in this one. Ken Hughes another save as he's converted his last 3. As we're now into May, we'll take a look at our minor league updates. Luis Rodriguez, a 5.59 ERA in just under 10 innings. A lefty there at Double-A. Then we get Mike Costello batting .289 with 12 RBIs over his last 45 at-bats, absolutely tearing it up. A draft pick from last year with a very good bat, especially against lefties. Now we get Alex Parra, batted .296 with at least 5 or 6 home runs as he was mashing in Triple-A. Our top prospect among position players, not far from the MLB, especially because I like that compliment at third base where McMahon is good against righties, but Parra very good against lefties as he's shown over the course of his career in the minor league system for us. Now Garrett Haney, our closer there at Double-A, 8 strikeouts in 9 innings at 2 ERA. And then finally we get Mitch Bratt, 1.32 ERA over 13 2/3 with 10 strikeouts. The lefty with very good stamina who we acquired from Texas back in year 1, maybe not far away from our bullpen either. As we see here now at the top, Nolan Jones batting .293 so far. Luis Robert Jr. 259, Mountcastle 271, Dustin May 2-2 with a 4.26 ERA. Sandoval 3-2 with a 3.72 ERA. Max Fried now our 3rd highest rated pitcher as he is seeing a lot of regression. Does have a player option. Not sure what he's going to decide to do as he will be 34 next year, but a very good start to the year, although he might crumble a little bit as we go along. Danny Jansen, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs so far, but hasn't really provided much. All that came in the early phases of the season. He was leading the MLB in RBIs at one point. Eloy Jimenez still batting over 300. We have Ken Hughes here. Not a great start to the year. Had 2 blown saves, but has got it together as we've gone along. Still a 5.59 ERA, a little bit worrisome. Ezekiel Tovar now batting under 300, but still very good numbers for our 25-year-old shortstop. Jack Flaherty, a good start to his year. Rogers coming around a little bit. Next, Senzel batting .407 and 54 at-bats. McMahon, a very good year so far. Yanquiel Fernandez, a potential left fielder. It was a slow start from him, but now batting .246. That's slugging at .439. So as he's gotten more run, he's been a little more consistent as he's flipped time here with Gavin Lux out there in left field. Lux, a very good start to the year, but gone a little cold now, batting .250. Our bullpen, for the most part, has been very good. As when I jump right back into it, now into May, and we're going to try and get through the entirety of May in this episode and pick it up next time out towards the draft and the All-Star Game festivities. This one kind of a bridge episode to that. Now game 2, we fall there 7-1, so the Braves come back and beat us good. We did eliminate them in last year's last year's wild card series before falling to the Dodgers, but Eloy Jimenez 3 hits in this game, 2 from Gavin Lux, and then just 1 from Tovar. Sandoval catches the L, 4 earned and 4 1/3. Kyle Freeland allowed 3 and 2, and then Taj Bradley, another very good outing from him. Now let's get through game 3 here. We'll have Jack Flaherty on against Kevin Gausman now on the Braves. Franklin Delaney, our first-round pick from last year, bruised hand, but just going to be day-to-day. As it's a 1-1 game here in the top of the 8th, runner in scoring position for Danny Jansen. As we are going to come out of here with a win 4-2. As we take the advantage now in this series 2-1. We'll have game 4 here shortly. 2 hits for Jimenez, Robert Jr., and McMahon. McMahon had 3 RBIs with another 2 home runs. He might exceed last year's total before the All-Star break. Gavin Lux with a triple. Jack Flaherty, 7 strong innings, just 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. Gilbreth, Gratterall, and Ken Hughes, good efforts there out of the pen as Ken Hughes, 2 scoreless innings, knots the win. And now we'll see if we can take this series. Max Fried on against Spencer Strider, just like game 1 in last year's National League wildcard round where the Rockies won that game. I think it might have been 2-0 in that game. And look at that, Luis Robert Jr., a fractured shin, is going to miss 1 to 2 months. Obviously a key cog on our team, a key piece out there in center, and plays a very good outfield at that. Provides a good spark in the lineup. So Luis Robert Jr. now on the 60-day injured list, and we'll see how we counter that. So we will come over here to AAA, and we have a couple options to choose from, most notably here Benny Montgomery, now at 24 years old, battled for a roster spot in spring training, and I did expect him to land on the opening day roster, but he was just outperformed. We like his speed, decent fielder, and he does hit lefties pretty well, all things considered, for more of a speed defensive outfielder. That contact against lefties going up +3 at this point, almost up there to 70. His AAA stats: 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. Has been successful on all his stolen base opportunities, batting .274 with an OBP at .374, slugging over .400 for an OPS at .799. So Benny Montgomery is going to be the guy we call up. Alex Parra, I did think about with 8 home runs already. His second season there in AAA, seeing good regression, although that power versus lefties going down -3, whereas the power going up +3 now at 75. And we really could use a slugger off the bench against lefties, but we'll let him progress and develop a little bit more down there in AAA before doing anything hasty. Still only 20 years old. The 7th overall pick back from our year 2 draft, batting just under .300 with a slugging at .558. Just absolutely mashing it up right now. We could have went with maybe Jordan Beck, who has had a good start, now at 25 years old, B potential, so a little bit higher than Benny Montgomery. But we like the speed of Montgomery, and he's more of a natural center fielder. Joshua Baez we acquired last year, just batting .154. As more of a platoon guy. Heriberto Hernandez batting under .200. We wanted him to be more of a power bat, but not really up to par at this point. So Benny Montgomery is going to be the guy. He will make his MLB debut here shortly, I would assume. I think we are going to throw him into the lineup against lefties. As I said, we really kind of lack a guy off the bench who can hit lefties. Nick Senzel is an everyday player for us, in our left-handed lineup. So he switches with Ryan McMahon, who is really, really bad against left-handed pitchers. But we'll keep it moving along here. I think we will go quick manage in the first game against the lefties. So it's not going to come here as we open a series against the Padres. Dustin May on against Yaniel Carrette. And we have a 6-4 lead here in the top of the 7th. Ryan McMahon, 2 more home runs. He's been absolutely mashing. As we blow that when we fall 9-7. Benny Montgomery led off. He went 1 for 7 in a 12-inning matchup. We took the lead there in the 12th and then gave up 3 in the bottom half of the inning to lose 9-7. Benny Montgomery, like I said, 1 for 7, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits from Jansen, 2 from McMahon. Both of those were home runs. Yanquiel Fernandez goes 4 for 4. You like to see that. Dustin May, 5 innings, 4 earned, so not the best start to his Rockies tenure. A bunch of relievers used in this one. Pretty much every reliever we have. And Ken Hughes, another blown save. So we're starting to get very concerned now about Ken Hughes. We'll take a look at his numbers. He was absolutely phenomenal going back to year 2. We acquired him from Baltimore, and he went 7 out of 7. Started off his first full season as the closer very well, but did kind of struggle there down the stretch. And now this year, 7 for 11, and that is not good at all. So a short leash now may be developing for Ken Hughes as the closer. Only 24 years old, still growing, although -1 for walks per 9 to start the season. And we definitely need more stability in that spot if we're going to be a playoff team. So we're kind of falling now. Losers in 4 of our last 10. We dropped 3 of our first 4 here in the month of May. Now we'll have Aaron Savali on against Joe Musgrove. And we do get back into the win column. We win 3-2 with a 3-run 7th inning. Ken Hughes does come back. He does allow an earned run, but he's still got the save. Just made it a little more sketchy. Now a rubber match. We'll have Patrick Sandoval on against Robbie Snelling. And we take this one 6-4. As we steal this series in San Diego, Franklin Delaney is now back to the lineup. Our first round pick from last year. And we will take a look at our minor league lineups real quick, just run through. David Castillo is a high draft pick in our year 2 class. We think he might be a future batting champion, but a rough start now in AAA, batting just .229 in the early goings. He was a late call up to AAA last season, but he ended up performing very well, but a tough start now. Alex Parra now 9 home runs, so he homered in his last game with a .300 even batting average. Jordan Beck is hitting well in the 3 spot. Grant Levine is having a decent year. Hunter Goodman warming Bernabel, no home runs for him in 120 at-bats. And really nothing else to note here in AAA. AA, we have Wanyang-Hu, I think our second round pick from last year, 18 years old, 67 overall, having a tremendous start to the year, batting .352. The OBP just 25 points higher, slugging over .430 with an .809 OPS. His first home run came in his last game. I played that one offline. We were able to go yard with him, despite just the power there in the mid-20s in each category. The contact, though, in the mid to high 70s with poor fielding, but very good speed at 95. Going to be a very good base stealer, on-base type of guy. Hopefully that fielding comes around a little bit, though. Jody Camp, we acquired him straight up for Zach Veen, hitting pretty well. Now, Franklin Delaney, our first-round pick from last year, getting -1 in power versus lefties, discipline, but +1 in a few other categories, +3 contact versus lefties. A potential gold glover there in right field, going to develop good power, we think, down the line. Could steal some bases as well. So with Delaney and Wanyang-Hu here, we have maybe 2 of our potential starters in the outfield. Tom Park right now is the number 2 prospect in all of baseball. I think he debuted at number 1. Good progression there, +3 contact lefties, +4 contact versus righties, but -2 contact righties. Another guy we think might win a gold glove in his career. Good speed and stealing, batting .256 with a .411 slugging. So our minor league system is developing quite well as we've gone on. Mike Costello, low ceiling, high floor type guy. Already an MLB level hitter, we think, but never going to provide anything in the field. Batting .313 with a .500 slugging. 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. Probably got to move him up in the batting order, but we will move it along here. This episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter. As I said, we do want to move through this season, try and finish year 4 before the new game comes out. As we do get a double-A injury there to Jim Jarvis, a utility man off the bench. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs here. We have Nolan Jones on, runner in scoring position. The tying run being, let's see if we can rally late here against the Pirates, and we do fall there 4-2. And now we have Max Fried on against Jeffrey Springs. And I think here we'll jump into a player lock game with Benny Montgomery. We'll have the lefty on the mound, so we'll try and take advantage. We're now here at Coors Field in a Benny Montgomery player lock game, game 41 of this year 4 season. Our Rockies 2 games over 500. The Rockies 1 game under 500 as they look to get back even after this one. Nolan Jones there sitting in the dugout, one of our more consistent hitters so far, as we have Max Fried on the bump here, making his 9th start of the season. 5-1, in line for another all-star appearance, you would think, if he keeps up this dominant pitching. But it's not about him today. It's about Benny Montgomery, as we'll be going against Jeffrey Springs of the Pirates. And now here, a solo shot from Henry Davis already. Here, 1-0 lead for the Pirates. Tyrone Taylor now up. 1 out in the top of the 2nd. Max Fried gave up a home run early on. Now gives up the base hit to center field. And we'll move ahead here. Bottom of the 3rd. Still a 1-0 Pirates lead. And we see Jeffrey Springs on the bump here. Signed a 1-year contract with the Pirates, as they put him in the rotation. First pitch slider inside there. Called a ball, though. Looked like it did catch the inner part of the plate. And now 1-0 count to Montgomery. Swing and a miss there on the high fastball. Montgomery 2 for 11. Went 1 for 7 in that MLB debut, then 1 for 4 in his next appearance. And that fastball called a ball, so Springs attacking high in the zone, a little bit in as well, as Montgomery looks at all 3 pitches. Now the 2-1. And Montgomery is going to send that to deep left field, and that will be settled under, and that's going to be out number 1 here in the 3rd. Now moving into the bottom of the 5th inning, Benny Montgomery 0 for 1 with that flyout we just saw. Runner on first here, still a 1-0 lead for the Pirates. As Montgomery swings at the first pitch there, sends it to right field into the gap, as that goes towards the warning track. And another flyout here for Montgomery, now 0 for 2 on the day. You see there Danny Jansen at first. And we'll now move ahead again. A 2-1 game now. Mountcastle an RBI triple, and then Brendan Rodgers a sacrifice fly to put us ahead. Victor Medeiros now on the mound for Pittsburgh, as he sends that sinker way up and outside. A 1-0 count now to Montgomery. Bottom of the 7th here in Colorado. Nasty curveball, and they will say he offered on that one. Was not expecting that late break. Now the 1-1. As we do foul off the sinker. Medeiros in the driver's seat here. Montgomery 2 for 12 to start his career, as now a 1-2 count. That one inside as he's forced off the plate. Evened up now 2-2. And that curveball drops right in there. Tremendous placement. I read it curveball, but I thought it might break a little bit too outside as Montgomery goes down looking. And that's 7 innings here in Colorado. The Rockies with a 2-1 lead. And now we will get an opportunity here in the top of the 8th inning. A full count here to Victor Robles. Now on the Pirates, 0 for 3 today, 0 for 7 in the series. John Curtis on the mound trying to hold this one into the 9th inning. He's been very reliable for us over the past 2 seasons, as Victor Robles is going to get into the hit column. Sends that out to his counterpart there in center. So 1 man on for the Pirates. And Curtis did get out of that inning unscathed, as Mountcastle a 2 RBI single, and then Ezekiel Tovar doubled with the bases loaded to bring around 3. So we have broke it open here, as that one in the dirt. Tovar will stay at second. Now a 7-1 lead for the Rockies. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Montgomery another chance to get into the hit column, as he's gonna round that softly to third, throw to first, as the Rockies a 6-run lead heading into the final frame. I think we're gonna take this one from Colorado, as we do. A 7-1 win for our Rockies, although we go 0 for 4 with Benny Montgomery, as he's now 2 for 15 to start his career. Hopefully he can turn it around a little bit, but not expecting too much with the bat. More of a defensive speed guy. As we said, really just need a more natural center fielder. As John Curtis does get the save, he finished it out, and our Rockies win here 7-1 as we take Game 2 and even the series up at 1-1. Max Fried, a good response after that home run he gave up early. Now 6-1 on the season, 7 strong innings with 5 strikeouts. Now we'll go ahead and just simulate Game 3 here. The rubber match will have Dustin May on against Paul Skeens, and we win that one 8-2, so we combine for a 15-3 win in those last 2 games, or 2 wins, I should say. Brendan Rodgers, 3 for 5 at the top of the lineup. 2 hits from Yanquiel Fernandez, 2 from Tolia, 2 from Cabrera, playing catcher in place of Jansen, giving him a rest. Tolia with a double and a triple. McMahon with another home run. Yanquiel Fernandez has been getting a little bit hot, now batting over 250 after a very slow start. Dustin May gets back into the win column, 6 innings, just 1 earned. And Taj Bradley, a 3-inning save. He's been phenomenal to start the season. And now we open up a 3-game set at home against the Giants, and we enter with an identical record to them. We'll have Aaron Savali on against Blake Snell, and we win that one 4-1, so another big win for our Rockies. 2 hits from Lux and Eloy Jimenez, as the latter went yard. Michael Tolia also went yard, batting over 300 now, and he's been slugging very well, been playing some offline games with him. And for those who remember, he went on an absolute tear in the NLDS against the Dodgers, like 3 home runs in his first 5 at-bats or something like that. It was absolutely wild. I think that one at this point, maybe like 10 episodes back. Aaron Savali, no decision, but just 1 earned in 6 1/3. Lucas Gilbreth gets the win. John Curtis and Ken Hughes combined for 2 scoreless innings, which gets Ken Hughes his 10th save. So our Rockies kind of right in the ship now. Winners in 5 of our last 6. After a poor start to the month, now we have Patrick Sandoval on against Glenn Otto, making his first appearance of the season. Minor league injury there to Daniel Cope. A tie ball game here, bottom of the 7th. Gavin Lux on a 10-game hitting streak. Brendan Rodgers on first, and we do come out of there with a win, 7-6, as Gavin Lux does extend his hitting streak. Yanquiel Fernandez, a double and a home run. Ryan Mountcastle, another triple. He tripled in that Montgomery player lock game, and we had only 2 hits in like the top 5 hitters of the lineup, but our bottom 5 hitters went absolutely absurd, going a combined 10 for 22, had 6 of our 7 runs batted in, 2 hits from Cabrera. He's now batting .282 as our backup catcher. Senzel had 3 hits. Fernandez with a double, a home run. Mountcastle, another triple. Sandoval, 6 innings and no decision. Brusdar Graterol, a blown save. Phil Maton, 2 2/3 of good pitching, no earned runs, and Kyle Freeland gets the win. Finished it off those last 2 innings there in extra innings, a 12-inning game. So we've had 2 12-inning games here against division opponents within the past week or so. Now Game 3 as we go for the sweep. Jack Flaherty on against Lucas Giolito. And we fall there 7-2, cannot complete the sweep, but been playing good baseball here as of late. 2 hits for Jimenez. Danny Jansen went yard. Jack Flaherty falls to 1-4, although he has been pitching pretty well. Brusdar Graterol, another bad outing, 3 earned in less than an inning. Taj Bradley, 2 1/3, did get up 2 earned. So our bullpen, not the best outing in that game, but we are now up to 25-20, a game and a half out of the Dodgers. It looked like the Padres and Giants were going to give us a little run for our money, but I think we might be able to pull away if we can keep up this consistent play. The Dodgers and Cardinals there at the top of the divisions, and then the NL East, the Braves leading the MLB, I think, with the best record at this point. So they are ranked first there in team rankings at the top right, first in contact, second in power, 8 in pitching, 13 and 22 in defense and speed respectively. Every team in the AL West under 500 at this point. The AL Central, the Twins and Royals, the top 2 there. And the Yankees currently leading the AL East by a game over the Rays. As we'll now sim a few more games here, close out this episode. I think we also will take our first look at the draft class, as Gavin Lux trying to make it a dozen games now, 0 for 2 in this one, bottom of the 7th, tying run on second. And we fall there to the Dodgers 2-1. See if Lux was able to extend his hitting streak, which he does not. He goes 0 for 3. But Yanquiel Fernandez, another hit for him, a double. Max Fried gets the loss, 5 innings, 2 earned, but the bullpen was flawless after that. 4 innings of no earned runs, just 3 base runners allowed. A combined effort from Freeland, Maton, Graterol, and Gilbreth, but just no run support in this one. And now sim game 2, we have Dustin May on against Yaniel Curret. Dustin May works into the 9th inning. In this one, we have a 2-0 lead, and we will win that one 2-0 as we do shut out the Padres. So only 5 combined runs in the first 2 games of this series against the Padres. Tovar went 3 for 3, batting .280 on the season. Ryan McMahon 2 for 3. Jones and Rodgers each a hit. Dustin May does get the complete game shutout. 5 hits allowed, 2 walks, only 2 strikeouts. and he gets a complete game shutout. That's got to be unheard of nowadays. That's almost like even more impressive. The less strikeouts you get in a complete game shutout effort, you got to think the defense was very strong in that game. And as I said, we will get our first look at this year's draft class. I forget what picks we have. I think we can take a look at one of these menus, as we have pick 24, and then we'll have 59, 68, 74, and 98. So 5 picks in the top 100. And we have 8 picks overall, so we get some compensation after losing out on Pete Alonso as he signed with the Dodgers. So we have a bunch of picks for this year's class. Our first there at 24, as we said. The top prospect this year is Ken Oaks, left fielder out of Illinois. Lefty, looks to have extreme potential at the plate, maxed out in all those categories. Looks to be a very good fielder with above average speed, at least a lefty bat, 5'10", 196 out of high school. Russell O, the top closer. Everett Berman, the top starting pitcher. A couple more relievers up here. Erwin Tucker, a right fielder out of Michigan. But we're not going to be able to get any of these guys at the top, of course, picking all the way down at 24. I haven't even really poured any resources into this pitching class, I don't think, to this point. Our organization, we've built tremendous depth at the starting pitcher spot, so we can kind of bypass that for now. We might try and find some sleepers later on, but we might try and focus in on relief pitcher, really strengthen our bullpen, maybe try and get one of these closers, Emerson Liss, Carter Clausen. Not the strongest closer class, if anything. Maybe Russell O slides down to 24. The hits per 9, walks per 9 there between 80 and 99. The strikeouts per 9 up to 95, home runs per 9 up to 90. You're going to have very good velocity, decent control, and break as well, but very high floor, very high ceiling. And with the concerns that Ken Hughes has had early on in this season, it might not be a bad idea to bring in someone like Russell O, who can contribute and battle maybe for a closer spot pretty early on. And closers tend to slip, outside the first round. So if he's there at 24, we might take him depending on some other options. But we'll go down a little bit on the overall board and take a look at some guys we're scouting. We've already scouted Felipe Soriano fully. He's very interested, projected 26, so right in our sweet spot there towards the end of the first round. 10 on our draft board, though, going to hit lefties incredibly well. Overall, going to be a tremendous hitter with very high discipline, going to have decent vision as well. Not really going to provide much in the field, which is why I'd probably be a little off on him. I feel like at the corner spots, we have pretty good hitters in our organization, but not the best fielders. But, he is a very good talent, going to have a high floor, high ceiling, I believe, and going to be a very steady hitter. So he might be one of our better options. Going down the board now a little bit more. We have Juan Bautista scouted a little bit. We are scouting international shortstops as a whole. We love what he can provide in the field. Going to have good speed as well. Going to hit lefties well, contact-wise at least. And overall going to have a pretty good bat. Not the most power, not the most over the top, but for a shortstop who can field well, I do like that combo at 19 years old, but only 38% scouted. But we'll see how he comes back. Our scouts have him at 17 compared to the national rank of 31. And as I said, we are currently scouting shortstops. We have a few guys that we're currently scouting that we'll take a look at, which is why we don't see him here. But Coleman Crowder, someone else we fully scouted already. Going to be a very, very good fielder, a very good speed guy as well. The bat isn't going to be the most consistent with the contact vision and discipline, very low, but the power is up there, especially against lefties. But he goes down 12 spots after scouting from 29 to 41. Not a bad prospect, but probably not someone we would target at 24. Felipe Julio, another first baseman. We saw Soriano moments ago, and Soriano probably the better prospect, but Julio is a better fielder, going to have very good power and contact, but only 30% scouted to this point. Did drop a few spots after scouting him. Now Sean Rush, one of those international shortstops we're currently scouting as a whole. High contact, vision, discipline going to be pretty good as well. Fielding going to be definitely serviceable, maybe even a little bit above average with very good speed and stealing. Sean Rush, 21 years old, out of Canada, halfway scouted, very interested, but probably someone we target with one of those compensation picks, one of those second-round picks if he's still available in that spot. Definitely not a first-round target. We'll go over to shortstop. I think there were some other options. We already saw Bautista, Rush, Charles Marcus, another guy out of Canada, a lefty bat. Going to be more of a fielding and speed guy, it looks like, but contact is going to be up there. Damian Ramirez falls a little bit after scouting. And now looking at our current strategy, Isaiah Mayfield, we just got back on him as a fully scouted guy. He comes back at 11th on our board, so one spot under Felipe Soriano, but he's all fielding and speed. A lefty bat, going to play center field with a tremendously strong arm. Speed as top tier as you can get in these projections, stealing just under that. potential gold glover, but really never going to provide much with the bat. But I do like that he went up 24 spots after scouting. So I think Mayfield and Felipe Soriano maybe are our best bets at pick 24 at this point. Maybe even Russell O, that closer. So we'll go ahead, remove Mayfield, get someone new in that spot. Now, Domingo Almanzar, 18-year-old out of Alabama, 6'3", 205, potentially 99 contact there versus lefties with very, very high vision and discipline. So going to get on base. The contact versus righties is good as well. The power in the average territory, hopefully. Not the best fielder, but above average in that spot with pretty good speed and stealing. So I do like Domingo Almanzar as a left fielder, although he does drop 23 spots after scouting 75% so far. So if he's available with one of those secondary picks we have after the first round, maybe a target in that spot. So as I was saying, I think I do want to start scouting some of these relief pitchers in this class. I think we'll go relief pitcher international. That's usually pretty safe, and I did notice a few there. I know that's not going to have us scout Russell O, but at least it'll give us a few more options here. Aldo Torres out of Dominican Republic. We'll have Ramon Araujo out of Mexico. Vinny Guerra out of Venezuela. Sean Macias out of Cuba. Fred Lintner out of Canada. Willie Valido out of Dominican Republic. And all those guys, top 50, top 60 guys. Another Canada guy, another Cuban. So we're going to cover a lot of range there with our scouting on relief pitchers. I think shortstop we will keep for now as well. I want to take another look there. We are scouting Batista, Rush, Marcus as our top 3 really. Although at this point it might be more efficient to just hone in on one of these guys on their own. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll cancel shortstop as a whole. And then we'll assign Sidney Odom to Juan Batista. He's at 38%. That's going to uncover 69. So that will uncover his full scouting by next week. And then Chris Plaza, we should, I think, look at other positions for now. Third base, we have Jim Rogers. Going to have a very strong arm. Going to be a decent hitter overall. A little bit better versus lefties. Darren Harris, a lefty bat. Looks to have a little bit more of a ceiling. But Ohio, Pennsylvania, we're trying to maybe find a region where we can scout some guys as a whole. Benito Gallegos. We have some second basemen here in our draft range. More specifically here with Gallegos. Going to be a very high contact guy. Good arm strength. Decent speed maybe, but second base probably not our biggest priority. I don't know if we really should focus on fully scouting Felipe Julio at this point. A very poor catcher's class. I think we'll just get Russell O out of the way. Although Chris Plaza only 60 rating there scouting pitchers, so maybe we'll just wait on that as we probably were going to plan to do anyway. Maybe go left fielder international, or maybe we should just fully scout Domingo Almanzar, which I think we'll do. He needs 25%. That's what Plaza will give in this spot. So we're about halfway now, week 7 of 14 for scouting. Probably within 2 episodes or so, we'll get to the MLB draft. Following that point, we'll work into the trade deadline and then really move on and hopefully hit the postseason of this year for Rockies franchise. But for now, we'll finish out. We'll send this game here against the Padres. We have Aaron Savali on against Joe Musgrove. I believe they faced off a couple weeks back. The rubber match here from San Diego. It's a 4-3 ball game. Ezekiel Tovar on against Yuki Matsui. And I think we will jump into this one. We have the tying run on second, as it was a 4-1 game coming into the bottom of the 9th inning here. Able to post 2 runs, trying to make it 3 or 4. And I think I said we're in Petco, but we're actually at Coors Field for this one. Ezekiel Tovar, 2 for 3 in this game, 5 for 9 in the series. Very good against lefties, a good clutch rating as well as he's developed in his career. So first pitch swinging at the splitter makes us look absolutely silly. Those are the ones you ponder, editing out, but we are transparent here. Now the 0-1 count as we offered at that one. Yuki's Matsui. I'm not used to seeing him. We don't really play the Padres too much in this series. I feel like I should have maybe kept it to the simulation. As that one is called strike 3. There's no way that was a strike. Tovar goes down looking there on 3 strikes. We have not hit well in this episode, albeit a limited sample size, as Tovar cannot believe that one. So now down to our final out. Gavin Lux on, maybe going to pinch hit in this spot. Definitely going to bring on Nick Senzel here for Gavin Lux. Senzel batting .337, .891 OPS, mainly out there against lefties, which of course suits this situation. So Yuki Matsui gets the strikeout, and the first pitch there in the dirt gets away from, I think that's still Campusano at the backstop for San Diego now into year 4 of this franchise. So a 1-0 count now to Nick Senzel with the tying run on second. And Senzo will get underneath that one. A soft fly ball there to left center, as that will be caught. And just like that, the Padres get out of this one. Yuki Matsui comes on for the save, as the Padres take this series in Colorado, taking the last 2 of it, as the Padres are going to try and battle us for second place in the NL West this season. The Giants also up there, but hopefully we can pull away as we go along. Aaron Savali now 3 for 6. Joe Musgrove 4 and 5. And the Padres take this one 4-3, and they take the series with it as well. So with that, we're now 26 and 22, 48 games into the season. Simulate here, we'll start a series against the Chicago Cubs. We'll have Patrick Sandoval on against Edward Cabrera. 1 and 5 on the season is Cabrera. So we will quick manage this one. We're at Wrigley Field, top of the first. Nolan Jones leading it off. Strikeout from Brendan Rodgers. A 2-out walk from Ryan McMahon. Now Eloy Jimenez up, batting over 300 with 10 home runs. And he gets another one here, a 2-run home run in the top of the first. Ryan Mountcastle, a 2-out single. Jansen walks. So after 2 strikeouts to start, the next 4 batters have reached as Fernandez lines out there. So Patrick Sandoval starting this one. Already a 2-run lead to work with. Merrill Carney leading it off for the Chicago Cubs, as he leads it off with a single. A sac bunt from Spencer Steer gets him over. Now Nico Horner on, as he singles. Now runners on the corners for Spencer Torkelson, and he gets an RBI single. Now Teoscar Hernandez flies out, 2 outs for Matt Shaw, and he strikes out. So Sandoval does get out of that one, but he gives up a run. As Ezekiel Tovar, we saw him not get it done there. We struck out with him, but a home run for him to start now at Wrigley. Gavin Lux, a ground out from Jones, and a fly out. Now bottom of the second, a leadoff single from Alexander Canario. A walk there to Miguel Amaya. Now Christian Pache on, as he strikes out. Merrill Carney strikes out Spencer Steer, fielder's choice. So 3 straight outs there for Sandoval after the first 2 hitters in the inning reach base. A leadoff walk for Ryan McMahon. 2 walks for him already, and a double play there after a fielder's choice. Now bottom of the third, a strikeout from Sandoval. Torkelson, a single, strikeout, and a single. So 2 men on now for Canario, and he grounds out. Top of the fourth, and a 2-out double from Tovar. So he's 2 for 2 with a home run and a double, as Gavin Lux then grounds out. Bottom of the fourth, and Sandoval, the 2-out single allowed there to Merrill Carney, originally drafted by the Angels. We were really high on him back in that year 1 draft. A 2-out walk now to Spencer Steer. Nico Horner on, as he walks. Now the base is loaded for Torkelson, and he flies out. So Sandoval stranding all the runners on basically all game so far, as Edward Cabrera, a 2-out home run allowed there by Ryan McMahon. Now already 16 home runs for McMahon, matches his total from last season, and we have yet to hit the All-Star break. Just absurd pace from McMahon now in what's probably his final season in Colorado. Has nothing doing after that. Now bottom of the fifth, a 4-1 lead for the Rockies. A strikeout, then a walk, fly out, and then a RBI double from Miguel Amaya, as Christian Pache is on, and he strikes out. So Sandoval gets through 5, and probably going to take him out in the 6th, as Daniel Palencia now on for the Cubs. A 1-out double there from Yanquiel Fernandez, and he'll be stranded on second. Now bottom of the 6th, we'll go to the bullpen, and we're going to bring on Phil Maton, a 2.31 ERA and 11 2/3, as he allows a leadoff home run there to Merrill Carney. Just talking about him. Then a single to Spencer Steer, a single to Nico Horner. So the first 3 batters he's faced have reached. A line out there to Torkelson, fly out, and a strikeout. So he responds well after that leadoff home run, and then 2 singles, as the Rockies now in the top of the 7th get the 2-out single from Ryan McMahon, and then an Eloy Jimenez fly out, as it's time to stretch now in Chicago. Now bottom of the 7th, we'll go back to the bullpen, bring on Brusdar Graterol this time, as he gets 2 strikeouts, a ground out, very good hold there. Brings us into the 8th still with a 1-run lead, as Ryan Mountcastle, a leadoff single, fielder's choice strikeout, and a ground out. So now bottom of the 8th, Merrill Carney, a home run his last at bat, now 3 for 4. We'll go to John Curtis, as he has yet to allow an earned run on the season, and he gets a 1-2-3 inning, 4-3 now into the top of the 9th. And now here into the bottom of the 9th, we're going to bring out Ken Hughes, and we're going to jump into this one and see if we can close it out, as we are going to end the episode after this game. We're going to pick it up next time with a full game. It's game 50, and it's going to be episode 50, so I figure we'll just kind of tie that in together, as we'll be back here at Wrigley Field for game 2 of this series, but not before we get out of this one with a win, hopefully, as we have Ken Hughes on for the close here. 4-3 Rockies from Wrigley Field. The first pitch there fouled off by Spencer Torkelson, traded to the Cubs from the Tigers back in year 1 of this franchise. The trades in this game have been absolutely absurd as he fouls off another one. And now he faces a quick 0-2 count against Ken Hughes. Try and put him away with the slider this time, as that's lined foul over the head of Ryan Mountcastle. And now we'll try to hit him with a changeup. Ken Hughes already 4 blown saves on the season, as that one bounces in the dirt. An all-star last year. Do not think he's going to get back there this season, as a ground ball there to Tovar. The former Gold Glover fires to first, and one away here in the bottom of the 9th. That'll now bring up Teoscar Hernandez, another acquisition by the Cubs. I believe traded for him last year, re-signed him in the offseason. And it's pretty much their entire lineup, a different team than what they started with, as you would expect. You know, this deep now into the franchise. An 0-1 count. Try the sliders. That swung on and missed. Filthy work there from Ken Hughes. Now we'll try it again here on 0-2. And that one low, not offered that time by Hernandez. And now we'll try the fastball up and in on 1-2. And that one swung on and missed as Ken Hughes gets the strikeout. Now 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th, as he looks to put together back-to-back saves. Matt Shaw, one of the younger players on this team, playing shortstop, I believe, here today. As that fastball down. Now the 1-0 from Hughes. Go back to the fastball, as that one called a strike. Very good placement. We'll try and go right back to it now on 1-1, as that's going to be popped up into foul territory. And we'll do it again here on 1-2. A strike away here for the Rockies. Going to take game 2 here from Wrigley Field. That slider, game 1 from Wrigley Field will be back next time with game 2. A full game here against the Cubs. A 2-2 now. That one very low. A changeup was fouled off. And now we'll try and switch it up here with the fastball on 2-2. That one right down the plate, lofted out to right field. Nolan Jones settles underneath, makes the play, and the Rockies win here. 4-3, taking it from Wrigley Field. A save here from Ken Hughes. Patrick Sandoval, 5 innings, just barely manages to get out of this one with a win, as Zico Tovar had a very good performance there at the dish. 2 for 4 in this one, I believe, with a home run and a double. And we got consistent hitting throughout with 9 hits. Sandoval now 5-3 in his first season with the Rockies. 11 saves now on the season for Hughes, as Edward Cabrera falls to 1-6, and the Rockies win another one. And with that, this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. We're going to end this episode at 27-22. 2 games out of the Dodgers in the NL West. I'm glad we were able to kind of flip the script here after a very rough start to the month. As we said, next episode we'll pick it up. We'll have Jack Flaherty on against Jordan Wicks in game 50 of this year 4 season, which will mark the 50th episode in this series. So as I've been mentioning, I do want to get through this season fairly quickly, but still I thought it was necessary to get that 50th game aligned with the 50th episode in this series. But as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.